Awesome. Well, we should be live. We probably already are. There's always fun stuff with YouTube. I enjoy being here. It is Wednesday night. Welcome to Weaven Wednesday. Hello, people. New and old. Magorachka. Jet Tech Dawn. John Noons, Airborne RC. What is going on from Arizona? Along with Wild Bill from Arizona. Tim Toutant. Hello. Mr. Tim Toutant flies some turbines, and I bet he is excited for this season coming up. Hello, Victor. How are you tonight? AL37. Was it you, Victor, that was saying you're going to bring that to a show? Either way, somebody was saying they're going to bring that to a show. How awesome is that to be able to bring a plane like that, travel around with it and all? Just got off work, heading home. Sounds good, Vic. And Tim was from Arizona? Is Tim Toutant in Arizona? Or like was, like born there? Deuces Wild. Hello, sir. How are you tonight? Brian Chambers, thanks for coming. Mike Keller. Yes, we are good peoples. I appreciate that. The audience more so than myself. What was it that I have on my mind? I don't know, but I want to, yes, I know what it is. I want to give Jet Tech Dawn a wrench. He says, I think I got some text coming through. Let's see. Landlord. You see, yeah. I'm being lazy and not doing my expenses at work, and I did some plumbing here at the house, and landlord's basically forcing me to take money off the rent. He appreciates me for taking care of the house. I did plumbing in the bathroom, underneath the sink, down in the basement, stuff like that, taking care of the yard. But it's my privilege, my pleasure. My kids live here, so of course, and I live here. It's a nice house. Along with what you guys see behind me is, say, these two large windows. There's another two large windows over there. These large windows kept my plants alive all winter long. Got enough sun in here. Speaking of sun and winter, that's what the show is about. It is springtime for us. So Tim Toutant is now in Arizona. What's up, Mr. Jeff's Custom RC? Great show last night. Along with Dustin, who, yes, I can finally say I did get the EDM up and running. Air Marshal in the room. I see somebody saying hello to him. That would be Jeff's Custom. Take some off. Yes, definitely. I will take some off. I guess that's good to have the landlord, saying, hey, man, I appreciate it. I didn't read the full text, but that's the gist of it. And I see the fireman. It is good to see the flag. Dennis Farley, thank you for coming tonight, sir. It's always a pleasure having you here. How is the arm? Vic says, work is busy to go to the next event, sadly. I missed St. George. I don't think I'll be able to attend the Tucson event. Well, Vic, are you traveling? I'd like to ask you some questions about those and let the audience hear, and or let other members say what those events are. I don't know where St. George is, and I'm guessing Tucson event is Arizona, and if you're in California, must be a fairly good-sized event there. Since you in Conchise County? So yeah, it is good to have you guys getting to know each other through the shows like this. I don't feel like it's me. I feel like it's the shows, and then it's just somebody occupies that space. It doesn't even matter who. So that's pretty cool for sure. You guys are chatting away. That's awesome. And thank you for any likes you guys may have put in the room. So we're going to be talking about spring weather, what you guys are doing to go to events, swap meets, what's going on around the country. Jackson RC Aviation, how are you, sir? And how did your event go? And when is your next one? 11 Charlie RC, good to see you in the room. Gary, hello. Man, you guys are exciting me for all the people that come here. I also want to get this out of the way real quick because I'm itching, I'm dying, I'm burning to talk about it. It is pretty cool. It doesn't look like much, but it is. You guys may have seen the thumbnail on it. Yeah, it is hardly showing up. Let me see if I can go closer. But, all right, so that's enough. So this right here, nice and thin, right? This is a part I made. I designed it, every letter, every star, and then I sent it to a printer. Now this is obviously, well, this is metal. So I sent this to a printer, printed it out via a laser from metal powder, and then after that I chopped it off of the platform with an electric wire. So it's the culmination of 3 months of work. December 18th is when I first visited this place where we were going to buy this EDM. So from December 18th until essentially today, when I chopped that off, this thing has been on my mind about getting this machine in-house and learning. And so it's definitely good to be at this point now. Summertime here, but sick too, Eric. So the Craft King is sick. He's got the corona. Eric, you said, I know a little while ago you were traveling, EQRC. So you got the corona too. So, and Tim Toutant is saying, who is from Arizona as well, there is a big event in Tucson. What event are we talking about? An event near you, Wild Bill. Okay, and then John Noon's Airborne RC is saying he's in Sierra Vista and flies at TRCC. And then Deuces Wild says he's watching and eating green chili cheesesteak. All right. green chili Philly cheesesteak. Did you guys see the video? Oh, and 100. Let's see. That must be Eric that he's talking about. Okay. Eric as in Shadow Ops. That's who you're congratulating on 100 because he's at about 100 subs. Now I see it. And now I see it's him that's sick, not EQRC. Okay. All right. And Shadow Ops has got the corona stomach flu. Dennis is smart. He said, tell me about that motion dickness. I'm not going to watch it. And he put the right word. It was funny because I was putting it in my phone, and I did it from my phone. That's why I fat fingered it at first. And I said, it says motion sickness. Should I leave it as, or it says dickness. Should I leave it as dickness or change it to sickness? Rhonda says leave it. So I did. Okay, so Shadow Ops says, Josh, Sierra Vista is right next to us where I went to drone school for the Army. Good stuff. Must be a nice place to fly. So I got some good news and bad news for you guys. I flew the Havoc. The good news is it went well. The bad news is I did not get it on film. My GoPro that was facing this way did not capture it. I don't know why. It captured about 10 seconds and then stopped. It was a rougher landing than I would have liked. And for me, my My threshold is pretty high. So when I say rough, it was like, you know, fairly soft, but still, I was stupid. I didn't follow my gut. And the bad news is I flew it again outside of my comfort zone, my gut. Although I was very comfortable with the Havoc. Okay, so John Nunes is still involved in Army stuff. They're where EQ trained. Good stuff. So no puzzle like Kenny's Avante. Hey Jermaine, nice to see you. I'm talking about my Havoc flight. I had another camera facing this way, and I got some good shots on that, some small ones. But not any on the second one. And it was interesting tonight because I watched the new FMS Avante video from Pilot Ryan, but I'm trying to think of what else. Bitco Bobby. Bobby flew it. Bobby Style was the name of the video that he flew. And Pilot Ryan was saying, you know, bleed off the speed. And I was also wondering if I did something wrong. I know, like, say, a lot of people don't like full flaps. And really, a lot of times, flaps will get you into trouble. So, yeah, the Havoc, not a bad one, but I took the nose off on the second flight. I wanted to get a better landing, and I got a worse landing. So as the Havoc came in, and what happened on the first flight was I had it flared, and I let up on it, and then when I went to flare again, I didn't have enough tail authority. So what I was trying to do on the second one is I came in and it was gorgeous, and I was holding it so I didn't lose that tail authority, and everything was fine except when I stalled, I was just still too high. So I tip stalled, it took off the nose, bent a little bit of the gear, and everything was fine after that though, so all good. Hello Rhonda, nice to see you in the room here tonight. So what I'll do to make that better is I'm going to test that 147. As you guys saw with the GoPro footage for the Optera Maiden, the GoPro can record the GPS and show it to you on the screen. So I'm going to take the nose of the Havoc. I'm going to put the GoPro inside of it. So you guys are going to get a bird's eye view of traveling 140 miles an hour. And this bird, it flies sweet. It was locked in, a little bit of trim, and I was comfortable. I was doing the rolls, the vertical, you know, it was great. Michael Ruchka. You know, she will get you, Michael. I warn you, she will get you. Yes, Dennis says, glad you could join us. I definitely appreciate you stopping in the room tonight, Rhonda. And my daughter, Annalie, may be watching as well. She's upstairs. I just heard somebody talking. I don't know who. But I tell you what, guys. I am excited to do a spring cleaning. I'm going to get my birds out. I'm going to put them in the grass. And I'm going to do a walkthrough of the airplanes that I have. Tell a little bit of a story about them and all. And Deuce is Wild, your post on Facebook, Rhonda showed it to me. And at first, I was like, what is this? And then Rhonda says, Deuce is Wild posted this. And I looked at it more carefully because I knew it was airborne RC airplane related. And when I saw the guy with the plane, I just laughed so loud. It was hilarious. If you guys haven't seen it, it says 1 in 4 guys are happy. And the first time I saw it, before I knew it was posted by him, all I saw was the 3 people unhappy. The wife was yakking at one, the boss was yelling at another, and maybe the other was stuck in traffic. I don't know. It was just 3 unhappy guys. And then once I knew it was from Deuces Wild or Michael, I looked at the bottom right. I looked a little closer, and there's one guy smiling with an airplane. I was like, yeah. Oh, yeah. Shadow Ops. Everybody's waiting on a tax return. That's what's going on this year. EQ. Big bucks. And I'm going to see you go, hey, pilots. Look what I got. That's my impression of Eric. I like that. I like hearing him tap on the boxes. We'll be lurking tonight, George. That's cool. Awesome. Luckily, I do try and keep it a clean show. How old is the grandson? Just so I can know an age of what kind of jokes I have to tell to ensure they go over his head, you know. The younger they are, the more wide open the jokes can be. Yeah, definitely, Deuces. It was hilarious. Yeah, I remember that. Shadow Ops says, waiting on your mother-in-law. You guys know I hit on my mother-in-law, and every time Rhonda talks to her on the phone, I'll sneak in a, hi, come see me. V3, are we talking about the Avanti? Hello, little guy. The Avanti that Pilot Ryan flew, well, Pilot Ryan showed tonight of Bobby flying, I think is nice. 268, you get a very nice jet with lights, proven platform. My son is right here, and I'm trying to make sure he doesn't put volume onto his tablet here. Weaven, you can't watch that out here. No, you can't. No. You want to come sit with me and say hi? Okay, come around. Leave that there.
Sit and down.
Come here. There's my little one. You want to say hi?
Hi.
Say what's up, everybody.
Hi, what's up? Hey, what's up? What's up?
Yeah. So did you see Daddy fly a jet?
Yeah.
What did you think about it?
It's Mommy.
It is Mommy. You're right.
Yeah.
Mommy is on the screen there.
Yeah.
She's in the chat.
That's you, Daddy.
She's giving us a smiley face to Deuces. Yeah, you got me right there.
Yeah.
So, hey, did you see me fly my jet?
Yeah.
Was it fast?
Yeah.
What did you think about it?
I want to do up in a car.
Yes, it did. Did you want to fly it?
Yeah. But you didn't let me fly it.
No, I didn't let you fly it. Not yet. Yeah, for sure, Jeff. He's a cutie.
Yeah, you have to pack.
I was saying to
That's my pack.
Rhonda, you know, the ladies are just going to pinch his cheeks. Here you go, Tara. I'll pinch his cheeks for you. Yeah, and I'm going to remake the F-35 video so that his voice, because Rhonda actually filmed it for me, and he was near her most of the time. So I'm going to make the video basically Rhonda's filming centered and have his voice as the centerpiece of it, and then just throw in some other good pieces in there.
Hi, everybody. Wait.
Northeast
What up?
FPV.
What up?
You
Oh,
better
no.
believe it. There,
What up? What
that
up?
he is a future pilot.
Hi. What up? What up? Hi.
Say, are you gonna fly an RC airplane?
Hey, plane.
Say, tell them. Say, yes, my name is Weaven, and I'm gonna fly an RC airplane.
Okay. I'm Dad. I am Hayden. Pilot. Okay.
Say, all done. You want to salute?
Yeah.
Can you show them the salute?
Yeah.
There you go. So what I'm going to do with the kids is I'm going to do FPV. They can fly on my simulator. If you guys don't have a simulator, get one. It's definitely good. They fly when they're in the cockpit just fine. And so if I get FPV on an airplane, they'll be able to fly like that.
That's you and that's you.
Dave
Daddy,
Marshall, who?
Me.
I'm gonna leave the green afterburner to you.
Me.
I try not to do things other people have done, but that green afterburner by Guniac is awesome. And if you guys didn't see it, we had the world's best customer interaction yesterday with basically live feedback from an unboxing by Jeff. As Jeff is unboxing it, he finds something that broke in the shipping. So without even having to put in a ticket, a tracking number, this, that, and the other, just basically mentions it that it's broken. And Guniac or Ray, watching in California live, says, I'll send you a new one. And he's able to see it as well. Let him do what he wants. He's in the Navy. Yeah, Eric, he just can't have me do something he's already done. I'm going to let him do what he wants his way, the Navy way. But yeah, that, like Jeff is saying, Ray took care of him. I bet he did ship it out today. Deuces Wild says, I like the purple afterburner. Maybe it's the Jim Hendrix in me. Are we doing custom colors yet? GoFundMe. Is that what you're doing, Vic? For a Flex Innovations jet? That's cool. Yeah, so the thing for me is I need to clean up my shop downstairs. This house has a full basement. Not all of it is full depth, but there's awesome rock walls, hand-laid rock downstairs. That will be the backdrop of my studio when I eventually have an area that I work on stuff. I'm going to move the table out, and that's going to be my backdrop, or it may also be my hangar. I call it my dungeon because it's basically a spot where kids trying to turn on the tablet. I'm going to tell you no, you can't watch your tablet out here at all. Not even if you keep it low. You have to go to your bedroom. See you later. Night, night. So that's going to be the backdrop, but I need to do a spring cleaning. Spring is here. The warm weather is out, and flying season is upon us. Rain, rain, go away in Tennessee. Watch out, Rhonda. Yeah, you better believe it, because I have to get Rhonda involved. A lot of those things we have downstairs, boxes and all, a lot less nowadays. But yeah, it's Rhonda's got to go through it. I can't throw anything away myself, especially if it's the kids or this, that, or the other. So it's got to be a group decision. Yeah. Yeah, you know, Wild Bill, I do need to clean because if my shop is not clean or if I can't find something, I basically just can't work. If it's too tight, too crowded, and the same way at work, I have to have things clean. And when I lose something, after a little while, I stop looking for it and I just clean. Um, Today I was gonna put this on the vise and grind the back of it clean, right? So somehow I take some stuff and I move it off of this table and I go up towards the front. And it was like a magic show because after I realized what was in my hand, it wasn't this. It was a different piece of metal. And I'm like, I thought I had this in my hand. I couldn't find it. It was actually on the vise, but I just had to clean until it just became apparent. So that's what it is that I'm going to do downstairs in my basement, and it's going to be on like Donkey Kong down there in this summer and for all the building that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be saving some money, not buying too much, but there's going to be a lot of parts that I already have that are going to be installed. So,
Baba.
yes, Baba is my middle daughter, Ava, and my son calls her Baba. Can you sit in that chair over there, please?
Yeah.
That's binding, Josh. Which part of that is binding, Rhonda? RC Air Marshal says, we got flight videos of the UMX Turbo Timber and Focke-Wulf with a new camera and another special shortened flight of the Dynam P47. So do you have another camera? And ADHD, Wayne? Definitely. I don't know if that's me or someone else you were saying, but yeah, definitely with me. Trying to read the chat here. Uh-oh, Jeff. Oh, yes, yes. Definitely. Saving money and cleaning. There's only a few things I really want to buy. Very narrowed. That Avante today was very... Dennis. See, now you're going to lock me into it, Dennis. He says, oh man, Rhonda has spoken. And Farmer in the house. Anyway, hello everybody. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, you got, so based on GB's recommendations, Dave Marshall's saying he got the Sony AX5 III. And it's pretty awesome. I bet,
Daddy.
that's, I know.
Be mommy. Yeah, one. Yeah, one.
Yeah, how about you keep my screen clean and don't touch it?
But it be mommy.
Just look at your mommy from afar. Is your mommy pretty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that mommy and look at that mommy.
Yep.
Yeah, it be mommy.
For sure.
Yeah, I know it be mommy.
And that's the RC Air Marshal.
The marshal? I am master.
The Marshal. If you get in trouble, he'll arrest you.
I just bumped to one Titan and I will not get with the wet.
You will not get arrested?
No. I will walk that jam away.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
I get dope pile in my hand.
He is a big ham. He loves having fun.
Yeah. I'm going to get that hand in my pile, pile yam. He never die on the road.
So that's going to happen to you, Dave Marshall. I don't know exactly what he said, but it didn't sound good. Um, he's challenging you. He said, "Boom, you're going down, kid."
Kid, they did that. You going down, kids.
He said, "You're going down, kid."
You going down with my mommy. And my mommy will, yeah.
Rhonda's in there laughing. I don't know. Maybe she heard something. I don't know.
And mommy will yuck Martha in her. And Martha will just die in her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Martha will die way her.
Yeah, Guniak. He don't take it. He's got the three sisters that make him fight for it. And with me, I don't stop them really from standing up to me either. It's like, you know, if you're gonna be a man from whatever age, be a man. You know, stand up for yourself.
And I have a mommy, you big John. That's Martha in her.
Yeah.
And then will die. And die in the fire. And get roasted in the fire.
He says he's going down with his own kid's mom, and that's it.
No, my mommy not like that. My mom a big grown up with.
A big grown up?
Yeah.
Hey, how about you take it easy on Dave, all right?
No. I roasted him.
Hey, how about when we see each other?
No, the bow window will come.
Hey, how about when we see each other in person, we'll have a fly off, okay?
No.
You'll fly a plane FPV, okay? I'm going to get you to fly a plane.
No.
I'm going to put some goggles on you, and you're going to fly a plane, okay?
Yeah.
Will you be able to fly it up high in the air?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That's a big white bee up in the sky.
So EQRC is saying, Monday Air Marshall, my micro...
Daddy, stop talking.
Me stop talking. It's my show.
Stop talking. I dying you get into the bayou. Away at bayou.
Where's the volume? You want to turn the volume up?
No.
You're the volume.
I'm not the bayou.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. That's the bayou.
That's the camera.
I can't get the bayou. I can tell it.
So, if you guys don't know...
Daddy, stop talking. I dying you get the big bob when they do.
Can you show him your muscle?
Yeah. That's my muscle.
Wait. Let's get you on camera. Go ahead. Show him your muscle.
That's my muscle thing.
You gotta do like that.
I can beat that muscle.
You really don't like that Marshall, do you?
No.
Is it because he was in the Navy?
Yeah. I didn't want him.
What does Daddy say about guys in the Navy?
He won't touch me in the fire.
I don't say anything about guys in the Navy.
And they will wound him there. Still. That's not him. That's not.
No. See this one right here, the yellow? That's Deuce's Wild. And then you got Jeff's Custom RC. He's got some yellow there too.
He won't touch me.
And then we got Farmer Man Rose. He's from Canada.
From Canada?
Yeah, he's all right though.
I'm dead.
Say I'm half Canadian.
I'm Canadian. But
And 100% American.
I'm dead. But I'm dead.
So if you guys don't know, Airborne
Daddy,
RC,
stop talking.
John Noon's Airborne RC has a cutie just like
Talking.
he's saying stop talking.
Stop.
He doesn't formulate his
Talking.
he doesn't formulate his T's yet.
Stop talking.
Yeah.
Stop talking.
All right.
Daddy.
All right. So I think you're gonna have to go back. I think you're gonna have to go back into the bedroom, okay? Because you're getting a little too loud.
I'm not getting so loud.
Okay. All right. So, hey. So, another booba that I made along with this this Havoc, and it was a classic stall, is he said after the F-35 flight that he wanted to fly it. So what I did was I took throttle cut off and I let him hold the throttle up and then back. So it went forward a little bit. I went over to it, and as I was trying to talk to you guys about the rates, I accidentally hit throttle up. And when I was reaching for it, I hit the gear down and throttle down. So it came skidding into a stop. So a little bit of abrasions on the bottom of the F-35. But one of the things that I have... Okay, you stop, please. One of the things I have at work is a printer... Hey, I'm serious. Is a... is a printer that can put in a layer. It can put in a layer of Kevlar or multiple layers of Kevlar between, say, polymer. So what I'm going to do is instead of, like, say, trying to cover up or dress or anything, the bottom of the F-35 where it had the abrasion, I'm going to make some nice, I'm trying to think of, like, say, you know, if you can picture the, almost like Lisa Simpson's hair, you know what I mean? So that's what I want to make as a pad for the bottom of it as skid plates. And I actually want to wear down the skid plates. Call me crazy, but I want to take the F-35 and land it and skid on these skid plates, go through the polymer, which would be 4 layers of solid polymer, and rub it down into the Kevlar. I want to see what the Kevlar is going to look like, what it's going to wear like, and if the abrasion is going to stop at it. And after that, then I could possibly put it out to sell for you guys after I do the test on my own jet. But, you know, how good of a test is that? And I think that it'll be a good test because taking a jet low and basically tying for the lowest pass, tying, what is it, tying for first or tying for second? Tied for first of the lowest pass is, if I come in, it's not going to bounce. You know, it's going to come in and just keep riding it low because I'm not going to have to bleed off speed and all that good stuff. It's just going to be fly it low, set it down, and let it go. Shadow Op says, do not get any ideas with one of the words you just said, Dave. Oh, yeah. And I'm not going to read it after that. Tie the record. All right. That's what Dave says. So, yeah, I want to tie the record for the lowest pass with the F-35 and just, like, rub it down. Really burn that off. I don't think I'm going to get through the Kevlar. I'm going to have 4 solid layers in 3 different spots. So it's going to be pretty cool. And then the GoPro in the Havoc is going to be sitting right out front. Only that much of the nose came off, but it was a very nice flyer. I can't tell you guys how comfortable it was. It's my first 80 millimeter EDF plane that I've flown. Power was great. Takeoff was nice. Good conditions. I landed crosswind, so that's probably one of the reasons why I also stalled it too high. Like I said, you want to stall it low. You know, if I would have just had it lower when it stalled, it would have been fine. But I was really trying to bleed it off. And that was one of the things that Pilot Ryan was saying about the Avante is it's one of those planes that you want to really bleed it off all the way. And he also likes the full flaps on that. So, you know, maybe I also had the CG a little bit more forward than I could have, or back. I know I set it and it was good, and then I moved the battery forward. But I know one of the things that the Avante said in the directions as well is to set the ailerons physically down. But the thing is, that plane was so quick and easy to put together. And I know it was something different. It wasn't this, but I did not, mine is V1, and I did not take out the little mechanism. What I did was I shimmed it up, and that way when the plane went together, it was going to be a tighter fit. And I really had to work on those screws to squeeze the plane together, to take the pressure off the screws to get them together. And then when it relaxed, it held them all. So, yeah. Or, I mean, you know, like say what happened with Dave's RC's Havoc is, you know, it was a learning lesson for me, because that thing came in and it just kept going. It didn't scrub off speed. So that's why I came in and I was like, all right, I'm really going to hold that elevator to get that speed down. So, yeah. With the shortage of toilet paper, those skid marks are ubiquitous. My kids were asking me about skid something the other day, or my wife was, and I was like, and it was in front of the kids, and I was like, no, but I know what skid marks are. It was funny. So, yeah, I didn't advertise much about the Havoc because I really just wanted to say it's one of those planes for fun for me. And, you know, I think so many other people have done videos on it. I was trying to get some videos for you guys. I wish I would have got the crash for you. But here's what I was saying about initial flight setup. And I didn't do it because I'm not necessarily inexperienced, or as it says, if this is your first EDF jet model, you know, and it's not my first EDF jet model, it's my first 80 millimeter. But either way, I did not set my ailerons and flaps, whichever way this is, so that I guess it's a little bit of up. So that's called reflex, right? If this is your first EDF jet model, or if you'd like to further enhance the upright, low-speed handling for the first few flights, we recommend putting some upward reflex in the ailerons to add washout to the wing. This will help to further minimize and prevent tip stalls when flying upright at low speeds, especially when landing. I didn't read the especially when landing part. I was already done at that point. But yeah, I didn't do that. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll also set the battery a little further ahead. I know it keeps it from stalling, but I thought I thought reflex made the plane faster. And maybe I'm talking about from sailplanes. But like say, the sailplane that I have, it has 4 servos in it. And on my Futaba, I programmed in reflex, which is they all go up a little bit. And that's when you want to get your speed. So, I mean, if I'm off, let me know. But the lift and more drag is the camber. Could I mix that into the throttle? Well, it depends on how many channels I have, Mike Keller. Like when I fly the sailplane, I have 8 channels. With this, I had 6 channels. It's an AR 636. And no, I didn't have it on safe. I don't know that it would have helped in this situation at all. So, and I'm reading Troy Crank RC, crow / butterflies to slow down. Yeah. So if you guys don't know crow and butterfly, on the sailplane, what I have is the flaps, they go down and the ailerons go up. And so that one, what I have, so it's basically you have a clamshell effect, right? They're not directly above and below, but inside you have the flaps go down, ailerons go up. And that I do have mixed in with a throttle. So essentially, as I give it full throttle, they close, and I just have straight. So that's the crow or the butterfly that I have mixed in there. And so with this one, yeah, like you're saying, Mike, I would have to switch up the channels to do something like this. What's interesting is, and that's the same thing that Dave Marshall was saying, if you had independent aileron servos, is that this AR636 is, and this is the first plane that I've had where I set it up on safe on a switch. So I had it off the whole flight. But it was the 7th channel of the 636. So I set it up before on another plane, and I didn't ever raise the gear. I had it on a Focke-Wulf 190. I took the RX, the receiver, trying to make sure it's the words, I use the right words that you guys would understand, and anybody else who doesn't call them by the same thing. So I took it out of a Mini Apprentice. I put it into the Focke-Wulf, and I made sure I put it in the same orientation. But I didn't know if it was the same, and this was way before my programming. This was way back in the day before I was even flying off of safe. I put this in this plane. And but by the time I actually started flying it, I didn't fly with safe. But I didn't pull the gear up when I was flying, because then that would have engaged safe. And I was like, I don't want it to be tuned for a Mini Apprentice, and I have it on a Focke-Wulf. So it starts going like that. But I'll get with the RC Air Marshal and watch his series, and a lot of these receivers that I have, I will reprogram. I tried it once before on another computer, except it just didn't, for some reason it didn't connect, it didn't power. I don't know, maybe it was my computer and the USB port was blown, so it wasn't putting power to it, or so. I don't know what was going on with that. Thanks for the TMI there, Eric. But yeah, see you later in the other room later on tonight. LOL, Wayne, what's this? Do we have yeah, Wayne Splat Flips. Wayne Lee, I about called you today, or I was gonna try and look up your number and give you a call, because I was on that EDM, and it's a lot to learn. And as I was sitting there, and for whatever reason the wire broke, and then in comes the owner of the company from out of town, and he's like looking at me, and I'm not like stressing, it's all a learning curve and all, but it's like I'm not able to get that wire to rethread, I'm not able to get the water jet up, things like that. And it's just like, oh man, typo king here. Reflex or spoilerons are really fun to use on some planes. They are, and you know, on my Mini Apprentice, I had the flapperons, and that was actually pretty cool. One of the things that got me with one of the planes, I think it was actually the Habu V1. I wanted to set up flaperons on it, except as I put in the other channel and I programmed it in the remote and I did everything right, I'm like, what in the world, you know? And I hear myself thinking and saying stuff. And I said, you know, no matter what I was doing, I was like, it's treating this as one channel, but it should be two independent channels. And I look at the receiver again, even though it has 6 spots, it was a 500. So it was only 5 channels. And I'm like, all right, yeah, that makes sense. So no matter what you do, that channel is really the same. So in that case, you know, but I may have put it on another channel and done a mix off of that. So I really had one other channel that was an aileron completely mixed off of the other aileron. Jeff in Lower Alabama, I thought the Bigfoot wheels, according to Air Marshal, they were a little hard. I think he was saying something about the bounce on them was a little bit too much. Not maybe maybe I guess if you're flying on grass, you're talking about they're good for how big they are. Maybe if you were to like land on asphalt, they would be too tough for that or something. Kind of like Wild Bill saying, a lot hard. But if you're on, you know, grass, you got something forgiving, they probably are nice. I don't know what I did. Well, partly I know what I did on my Cessna. And it's something I really have to think about next time I fly, because when you're in the goggles and you're landing, you don't feel the wind. You don't see the wind, you know. So the naturalness that I got over time to always position the plane to come in to land into the wind, I have to rethink and relearn all of that when I'm in the goggles, because I came in with a tailwind with a Cessna and didn't have enough authority on my rudder, and I broke the plastic that holds the front wheel on. So it was off, and I need to put that back on. But I'm thinking about another front wheel on it and or more gear. But do you guys have any suggestions on a good front wheel for the Cessna? And I may also have, because I bought a lot of wheels from somebody when they were, like, say, selling out. They're rubber wheels. I just hope I have the right size. And if I can get those on there, it would sound a lot better than some of the noises that these planes make. To me, I think a lot of times it's really distracting, the noises they make. Even the Prometheus, it kind of freaked me out. I took off, and I guess I was definitely getting some good ground speed, because I wanted to, you know, do a maneuver right after taking off. And those wheels, they made some like god awful noise, like somebody was killing a duck or something, strangling it, choking it, you know. And I was like, man, I gotta land this thing and find out what the noise is. It was just so bad. I thought it was something more than that. Dave Brown tires. See, that's my man of quality coming through. Deuces Wild. I gotta write that one down right now, or look that one up. Dave Brown tires. Dave Brown. There we go. Sold at Motion RC. Hint, hint, Rhonda. Michael's saying, Josh, I used Dubro treaded for the front, inflatables for the back. A bit more weight, but worked great. 3-inch for front, 3.25 for rear. Yeah, that's what I want to use on the on the Carbon Z, but the Carbon Cub that I have some inflatable. I need to put those on. I came close this weekend. Oh, and I gotta apologize. I do feel like until the basement is clean, you got it, Jeff, for sure. So I feel like a dick because I put out that video of the RC truck on the ice. And I tell you guys, when I edit, I watch it a lot. Like I do a lot of proofing for, what's nice, what sounds nice. I'll adjust so much. If you guys know how much editing I do, a lot of it is to learn, and I always try and do something different on the editing every time to learn another skill. But when I was editing that video, every time I would feel it in my stomach. And I'm not like sensitive. I've jumped out of planes, lots, tons, so much it got boring. No sickness whatsoever. And I'm like, somebody's going to watch this. Even though I'm going to put, don't watch. Somebody's going to watch it. I am a dick, Dennis. I put that video out because I know some of you guys, especially if you're somewhat more sensitive than me at all, you're going to watch it and be like, yeah, it was fun. I almost took the Carbon Cub out there, except it just didn't work out. I figured I would be a good boy and take my wife's vehicle down, get the oil changed, and replace the screws on this table that my son took off by going to the hardware store. So I did my chores, and I was like, yeah, just not going to fly. I'll fly off of ice next year. I grew up in a merry-go-round. I can almost hear Donna Summer singing in the background. She works hard for money. I can hear it too. I'm not much of a singer, so I apologize for that. I don't have that stuff in my head. But let's see. Randy's saying, got a set of Dubro 3-inch tires for my HZ Super Cub LP. They weigh a ton. Yeah, that's why I'm going to put my Dubro tires on the Carbon Cub. I think it'll take it. That's the 2 meter there. Mike Keller says, the wheels on my Commander were noisy, so I hit the axles with a drop of oil and cut the noise a lot. I'm going to do that, Mike. I'm going to definitely grease up all of my, I think I got some white lithium grease that would be good for that. Paul Hatcher, welcome. I have not seen you here in the show that I know of. Welcome to the show. If you guys would welcome him, I'm going to welcome you with a wrench. So next year will be me flying off of the ice. 3-in-1. I may have some of that around. Awesome, Paul. Welcome. Definitely welcome. So it was fun, though, to have my truck out there in the ice. I really wish I had a faster truck, like, say, a 2-wheel drive, straight drifter. But it was still cool. And my truck, the Summit, I can switch it from 4-wheel drive with differentials to locked differentials in the back and in the front, or well, front first and then front and back, and then low speed, high speed as well. And you can actually hear it in the beginning when I kick it into high gear. You have to, when you let off the, after you kick it into high gear, once you let off the gas a little bit, then you'll hear it and it'll click and it'll go. But it's still basically on the fly. the locking of the differentials, you have to actually come to a stop, engage those, and then go back in. You got the Creighton today. It's about to get crazy around Dave's place. Which size Creighton is that, Dave? Dang, Kenny, shots fired. Who is Kenny saying that about? Not much of a flyer. And in all caps, like he's yelling. So what Creighton? That's the 4S you got? It is pretty big. The 8S, when I picked it up, what I actually thought inside my head when I picked it up is like, holy crap, this is heavy. Getting this thing in and out of a car every time, especially if it's muddy, and getting it in and out of the house if it's muddy, that's not fun. You know, so it's like a 25-pound vehicle, and then you could have another 25 pounds of mud. Oh, just kidding. That's cool. Maybe I just didn't get it. Or maybe I was out of reference. I read the comment too late. So yeah, to me, that's what I think about the big Creighton. It's like I really wanted it until I picked it up off of the shelf. Like, say it was up high. I pick it up and it's like, holy crap, that's 25-pound weight that I'm trying to pick up. So they have a 4, a 6, and an 8S. The 6 would probably be plenty enough for me. I think that's all that I would need. But I wanted something like that, especially if it was two-wheel drive, to drift out on that ice. And I think next year what I'm going to do is find a very smooth lake and also pour water on it on a cold day, so I know it's like glass smooth. Yeah. If you guys didn't see Kenny's show when I was messing around with him for the lag, like it was literally like 8 minutes behind. He was reading the comments. And so I left him some like confusing one-liners. Like, hey, Kenny, did you get that joke? I can't believe they said that. And it was about nothing. And so when he read it, it was way off. And it was just like, what? And I did another one. And it was so far behind. And then literally, when he caught up, when he realized, you know, because if I hadn't said to him, you know, what I was joking about, he would not have known how far behind his chat was. And so I said to him, hey, Kenny, it's 11:08 in New York time. What time is it down in Florida? And he says, well, Josh, it's the same time in Florida. I'm in the same time zone as you. It's 11:15, 11:00. So that's when he realized how far behind he was. It's like, no, Kenny, we weren't on the same time zone. But then he caught up, and he really wasn't that bad behind. Yeah, it also depends, RCR Marshall, on your latency settings. I always go to the 0 lag. Not everybody automatically defaults to that. But yeah, hopefully you guys do. If you're running a stream, go to 0 lag, and then within your OBS or whatever you run, do the minimal lag on that as well. Mike Keller says, same here. My jokes don't even get noticed. Need to include a punchline with joke. It usually helps to have a punchline and good timing. I think the timing is what I need. That's what I think about. I need to focus more on that. Dave does the ultra low. Wayne says, shh, Trump is doing a conference. I almost feel like doing a impersonation of him, but I don't think I've practiced at all. But I'm sure his conference will be great. Uh-oh. Wait, is there a punchline to that one, Mike Keller? Here it is. I once knew a girl who was like a merry-go-round. Yes. No, type the punchline. Don't type yes. Don't spend your time typing yes. We're waiting. Mike is typing the punchline for us. It says yes. And then, Mike, we're waiting. I'll read the first part again. I once knew a girl who was like a merry-go-round. The music never ended. She kept spinning. Slow down for guys to jump on and off. That sounds like a Captain joke. Oh, wait. Captain's here. No, Captain. It's all you, all day long. We need your humor. There are too many funny people in here for me. So what's going on tonight, Captain, my captain? Wayne Lee says, I'm 58. Oh, my God. Am I going to die now? I've got 20 planes to sell. Why do you got to sell them? What are you saying? Josh, baby. You know, Captain, I think you're one of those people that if I were to joke with you, you would joke right back. And your hand would be around my waist and slowly falling down the backside. And Captain, I think he's on the borderline of no shame and brave enough that his hand would just keep going. And you'd have to actually tell him to stop. Mike Keller says, do you know why the bride wears white? So she can match the rest of the appliances. That is bad. And I've not heard anything like that before. That's a good one. Dennis Farley says, agrees. He says it is a good one. I know. Don't laugh, Josh. I'm not laughing. You know what I get Rhonda with, why are your shoes on? Captain, see, he says it. He says, he just doesn't care. I would touch your ass. Hey, don't be jealous, guys. I'm sure Captain would do it to all of you guys as well. Yeah, a little too late. I was laughing. That was a good one, Michael. Uh-oh. I'm reading ahead now on these mic jokes. I got to be careful with them. Do you know why the bride never wears a watch? Because there is a clock on the damn stove. I'm laughing because that is actually the clock that I use the most. Because the microwave, 9 times out of 10, it just has like 15 on it. Someone stops 15 seconds from the end and it just stays there instead of going back to the clock. That was a good one. Hello, Jeff from overseas. Nice to see you here tonight. Victor, my son. Yeah, did you guys know, who is it? Colin from his Colin Air shows is the grandson of the Fred Barron. The Fred Barron's son is G.B. Linden. If you guys didn't know that, check them out. See the similarities, and you'd be like, yeah, for sure. Spell check. Payroll tax relief. Oh, maybe that's what is getting spoken about right now? Payroll tax relief? I will pay for it later. Oh, God, she's talking about me. She probably would. I don't know about you guys. Need to know one thing about Ronda. She is strong. I mean, like, I wouldn't want to see her fight another lady. When we wrestle, you can't overpower her. Don't try to overpower her. Working at the moment, but good, thanks, says Captain. Well, glad you could join us still. Let me read another Mike joke. These are good. Do you know why the best wives have small feet? Because she can stand closer to the sink of the stove. That is terrible. He says that is, oh God. I don't know whether is it funny that funnier these that in the 2020s than it is in the 1970s when that stuff is like mainly true, because now it's like a relic, the wife in the kitchen, the family life, and the nuclear family. It's so few and far between. It's a shame. I happen to be a nuclear family, so my kids are, I think, lucky living with two parents. I think it's too easy to get divorced these days. And when you got a wife that supports your hobby, you can't beat that. I know my mother-in-law supports my father-in-law with his golf and with his gaming hobby. He plays like PlayStation games and all of those. RC Marshall, I like cooking, but it's tough because I have big feet. But yeah, these it's like these jokes. They're funnier these days. You can enjoy them more. Troy Crank says, I'm 20 years in. It's cheaper to keep her at this point. It is. It's like the RC airplanes. You keep them because you're not going to sell them for anything of value. You're going to lose out. Just keep them, to me. Yeah, we are a throwaway country. It's you got to work hard for your marriage. You really got to work. It's like being a pilot. You got to work at it. It doesn't come easy. Landings, flights, FPV, all of it. You got to work for it. 35 years as of today. Congratulations, Wild Bill. Happy anniversary. Keep up the good stuff. You got a lot of big numbers to your name. Proud of you, my man. 35 years Wild Bill has been married. Oh, you're welcome. Keep up the good work. Divorce is easy. I've done it twice. Marriage is hard. It is, Captain. I am 15 years and a month or so in. Victor, when he was overseas, did he do that? Oh, yeah. That's why Wild Bill has been married 35 years. His wife has small feet. So it was funny because my neighbor who was divorced and talking about somebody else who was getting divorced or something like that, and all the things that are an aggravation to go along with divorce and this, that, and the other. And I said to him, cheaper to keep her. He didn't know what it was right away. And so I sort of said something, and Rhonda was right there. I didn't, want to just be too blunt about it, but he got it after a moment. And then later on that night, Rhonda says, "What is cheaper to keep her?" Like, well, RCR Marshall says, being single is hard. Hard to keep track of all the girlfriends. Got to keep the schedule tight and make sure they're at least 2 zip codes away from each other. For sure. I tell you, I wouldn't want to deal with more than one woman at a time. I think one is enough. It's like you wear yourself out. Your head will just go in circles. Dennis, 40 years. That is awesome. And she sticks with you. Down in Texas, right? Dennis, what events do you guys have down in Texas? Is there a certain large event? Because I know with the weather down there, except for the rain that Pilot Ryan got washed out from, it's going to be, especially if you're in the South Texas, I'd like to go down there. I'd like to get some of the barbecue, fly some planes. Amy is a keeper. Keeper, Dave. Gary says, Dave, how many zip codes when you are married? I tell you, I don't know if there's enough zip codes across this country, Gary. Especially from Rhonda. Yeah. I know you're joking, Gary. Dennis, what was the event that Pilot Ryan was trying to go to that you guys got rained out from? Wow, Mike. You know, and that's another thing is I know getting married from a young age is not easy. You know, because you're not even an adult yet. You're technically an adult, but you don't know what you like and all. So it's congratulations to you, Mike, that you've been with your girl since 18 and he's 54 now. He's one of those guys like me where people ask me how old my kids are, and I'm like, they were born this year. You do the math. RCR Marshall says, if you have multiple girlfriends while you're married, and hopefully Amy's not listening to this right now because I'm reading your comments. Let me know if I should stop, Dave. If you have multiple girlfriends while you're married, I wouldn't worry about zip codes. I'd worry about how many knives and guns are in your house and keep your eyes open while you sleep. For sure. Or else one of them may cut your eyelids off. So you always keep them open. Mike says, we shocked out for 14 years before I let her get the dog license to put you in the doghouse. So you guys were basically, what is that? That law, common law, married, if your state does that. You see, there's Rhonda threatening me. Remember that, Josh. That's... Or your wiener. Bobbitt. I hope Rhonda doesn't look like Lorena Bobbitt. Look at your document, fellas. The woman registers you like a dog. She did do all the paperwork on me as well. She does that. So what are you guys looking forward to flying? What are you guys doing different? I'm curious about that, for how your spring is looking, what it's like where you are. You know, is there any change for you guys in Arizona or, you know, California, or is it all the same to you guys? Because I know in central New York. We still have the occasional pile of snow where a snowplow piled it up. But other than that, you know, grass is clear of snow. The weather is 40s, 50s. And this year, it's actually very consistent. It's not like going up and down. It's 40, 50, 60, 70. Well, not 70 yet. But it's very nice this spring because it's spring. It's not, oh, are we there yet? Nope. Just a false alarm. Jeff in Lower Alabama's got to take off. Says, great show, Ron and Josh. Thank you, everyone, for watching the videos and subbing. Jeff in LA, USA. Thank you for the enthusiasm, Jeff, when you watch your videos. I like it. It is, I think about Jeff out there being like a kid and just being free. You know what I mean? That's the way I want to do more of. Everybody else I think should do the same. RC Air Marshal, sunny and 72 here in Georgia today, but rainy this weekend. So how is 72 for where you are for this time of year? Is that is it getting, say, warmer there? What was it a few weeks ago? Because a few weeks ago here in New York, it was 20-30s, and now it's 40s, 50s, like I was saying. Captain Photon saying the FMS Avanti V3 rocks. Definitely, Captain. And seeing the lights, and Bobby commented too about that one light in the middle, and that's a practical thing. And it's a sport jet. It doesn't have to be modeled after anything. Do what works. Like when I had my Optera, when I set up the lights on it, I set up the lights to where from every angle I could see something. And I had different colors at different angles, and I had some that blinked. And then when it was like facing me is only when I could see the blinking. So I knew if I could see the blink, it was facing me directly. And then as soon as it turned away, I didn't see it, and I could see another light. And then I also saw it if I was tilting it over. So as I came around, I could see that second light on top. So that's the way I really like to set up my lights. And to see that light that Bobby was saying on the bottom, that really helps out with orientation. Because when that plane was up there, you could see it from down below instead of, okay, I'm a fellow pilot and I'm looking at it from the side, because we're flying down below. That's what's selling me on that plane. That's where I think I can fly that plane at night, and that would be my night jet flyer. Leave it in the car, go out for a late night anytime I want in the summer, and fly it around. Bill says another 6 weeks and it's going to be hot. So you guys are actually getting a temperature difference in Arizona there. Photon is a freak. He is a freak in all aspects. Definitely right, Wayne Lee. And he is freakily funny. And Jeff is taking off. Yep. Jeff in Lower Alabama. And no, Ricky, you can't borrow Amy. Well, what took you so long to say no to that, Dave? I mean, he asked that like 10 minutes ago. Michael Rochka. That's the way I say his name. Photon has some serious liabilities. Fred Barron is GB's dad. Yes. Fred Barron is also Colin's grandfather. Who's your daddy? Dave, do you have a pool at your house? Randy said there's a pool party and you're sending out the flyers. Yeah, that's the thing about the V3 with the lights and the V2. I get and I trust people that the Avanti is a great flyer, but there's no reason for me to just get a jet just because it's a good flyer. But now, with the V3 having lights, I can fly it at night. That's something special to me. Yeah, Dave is saying the UMX Timber and Turbo Timber, fantastic for night flying. When I first got that Timber, I took off in my neighborhood, and I was in between houses at the time and asphalt. I took that thing straight up in the air at night. I left it on safe, and I just flew it way up there. I mean, it was like a dot in the sky, completely dark, just a dot, and I could tell where it was oriented, and I wasn't worried about, you know, anything as far as stalls or how long it was flying. It's just so chill of a plane. EQRC says, Josh, what's my indicator light that strobes on top is for? Let's see. Okay, he says, Josh, that's what my indicator light that strobes on top is for. So Eric says, if he can see his strobes on top, he needs to flip his plane back around. That's cool, EQ. Remember that first plane that you were saying inspired you to start putting LED lights on the top? I was new to planes, but I thought to myself, how cool is that if I have a strobe in the cockpit and that glass, that canopy is reflecting and I can see that, you know, so flash, flash. And I'm thinking to myself, it would blind the pilot, but for me on the ground, it sure would work. Dave did consider it. That's cool. I think he may have been consulting the Amy on that one, Captain. He may have actually had to go get permission. I think they were probably looking up your bank account. Mike Keller says, USA, up all night with Kenny in the hangar. For sure. I'm not trying to play around with Kenny anymore. I took his record once. RC Air Marshal helped me. Randy, Michael Rochka, the fireman was in the house. And we went, 8 hours? Kenny had a show that was 7 hours at that time, and we went 8 hours. Like once we hit like 6, we're like, all right, another 2 hours. We're going to get 7 or 6 hours. We can get past 7. And we stayed on another 2. Coconut oil. Okay, then. And RC Air Marshal says no oils. What is the conversation you guys are having about now? And right after that, Captain follows up with, every time I see Kenny on YouTube, I smile. Oh, man. I can't keep reading these comments. They're just... GB Linden smiles thinking about the coconut oil and Kenny. Speaking of GB, how you doing with timing, GB? We're right there. GB is in the house. And we're going to go to GB's house here soon. We did get 8 hours and 20 minutes. That was good stuff. Yeah, it was 8 hours plus for sure. He's ready to rock. All right, GB. I'm going to go to your channel. I'm going to get your link, get everybody into there. Taking 2 secs. Here we go. GB's live show. Here we are. 26,000 subscribers, I see. And Wayne Lee says, we're only coming if you got wine. I'm going to say goodnight, everybody. Just like Dennis Farley is. Josh Weaver, RC, out. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the subs. Keeping the bell on for the notifications. Thank you for the likes on this. Let's all head to GB's show. Thank you for chatting tonight, Rhonda. Yes. Later, Mike SSI. And I definitely like all the new people, like Paul Hatcher. Thanks for commenting so I can give you a wrench, because it's really my privilege. It's the host privilege to say, welcome to my show. You're a part of the group. Here's a wrench. I hear GB. He's on. I actually let the commercials play through. Let me listen to him. Say again. Thank you, everybody.